Everyone, thank you so much for joining me on another episode of Why I Love Flagler County, your local podcast spotlighting local businesses and local residents on what they love about being a part of Flagler County. So today I'm super excited to have my guest Tolu with us today. Tolu, thank you so much for coming on and spending a few minutes with me. I really appreciate it.
Thank you so much for having me.
Uh, awesome. Well, I'm so excited because we met a little while ago, I want to say.
Mhm.
But I was really excited because she's doing a lot of amazing things here in Flagler and then also in other communities. So I really want to make sure I highlight it. And also, it's also for me to kind of learn a little bit more about this. I feel like there's always so much that we can learn, especially when it comes to a little bit more sensitive topics. But I'll have her kick us off and tell me a little bit on your journey coming here to Flagler, coming here to Palm Coast, and how's that been for you?
So I moved to Palm Coast here about 15 years ago. I grew up in the Daytona Beach, Port Orange area. And, I grew up there for several years, went to school there and everything. My parents purchased a home here about 16 years back. And I'm very family oriented. I just did not want to be away from my mom and my dad and my siblings. So soon after, maybe a year or two after, I moved here. So I've been in Palm Coast now for 15 years, just about. I got married here at a local
Oh,
church, um,
wow.
and everything. So I really like Palm Coast. I love the low crime rate. I love that it's a small community. It's just what I've always envisioned
Mm,
myself, with having building my family, having my husband and raising my children. It's the right community.
yeah, that's amazing. 15 years. That's kind of a long time by Palm Coast standards, you know. It's like you're basically a founding member of the community, stuff like that. So
Yeah.
I'm sure you've just seen it completely transform and change when you came here.
Oh, yes, very much so. When we purchased our home, there were not a lot of homes around us. It was mostly
Mm,
bushes.
mm,
But now I have neighbors to my left, neighbors to my right, neighbors in front of me, neighbors behind me. And, they're all nice. A lot of them come from up north, and it's just nice to see people restarting their lives in this
right.
community, moving here from
Yeah.
all over the country. Mhm.
Yeah, there's a lot of New Jerseyans, New York people. I'm from
Yeah.
Michigan, so I'm part of the Northian coming down. But it's just so fun. It's also fun that a lot of people keep their area codes, I find. So I'm like, oh, can I send you a quick text? And they're like, yeah. And I'm like, is it 386? And they're like, nope, it's like 207 or 210 or something like that. And I'm like, well, there you go. Mine's not 386 either. So no reason to assume. There's all types of, diverse area codes down here, which is awesome.
Yes,
Um,
yeah.
but I'd love for you to talk a little bit about your business and what you're doing, and how that started.
So I'm a psychiatric nurse practitioner. I'm a board certified family nurse practitioner and psychiatric nurse practitioner. I've been practicing for close to 8 years,
Wow.
and all those time, I went to school in Bethune-Cookman University, which is in Daytona Beach, where the area where I lived, and I got my undergraduates from University of South Florida in Tampa, and then my psych training at Florida State University in Tallahassee. So, however, this whole time I've always resided in Palm Coast. I've always commuted to my schools. And I created Haven Nexus Family Psychiatry late last year. I want to say the December of 2023. And it's a televirtual psychiatric practice for now. I started it up like that because I really wanted to increase the access to mental health in Palm Coast, in Flagler County. Although I've been practicing for close to 8 years, I've always commuted to Orlando when I worked there for several years, commuted to Jacksonville, when I worked there for several years. And I just found myself, thinking, Palm Coast really lacks when it comes
Sure.
to psychiatric providers. We have wonderful therapists that I've been able to connect with, but as far as psychiatric NPs or someone to manage them with medication, I haven't quite found that. And I really believe in giving back to the community I live in, rather than serving other communities that have abundance of resources.
Sure.
So that was my main motivation for creating Heaven Nexus Family Psychiatry. I see patients virtually at this time. I treat children as young as 6 years old, all the way to our elderly in their 65. and I take various commercial insurances, and we are also in the process of credentialing to take more insurances and
Mhm.
take our Medicaid patients and take our Medicare patients and take our TRICARE patients. So, and we also plan to have a grand opening in about a month or so. So everything
Oh,
is definitely in the works. We're still going to keep the telehealth part,
sure.
to make, to not take that away from people that need it. We don't want any hindrances to someone receiving the psychiatric treatment they need. A lot of people have transportation issues, or they live farther away from Palm Coast. They live in surrounding cities like DeLand or Deltona.
Sure.
So Haven Nexus Family Psychiatry really want to cater to patients beyond Flagler County, to surrounding areas as well, Daytona Beach, Port Orange area, which is the area I grew up in, and DeLand, and further out. I'm board certified and licensed for the state of Florida, so I can see patients all through the state of Florida virtually. But Palm Coast is very dear to me.
That's amazing. I'm so happy to hear that. I have my cousin is a psychiatrist as well, and I think right now she's in Michigan. But she moves around a lot. That's what I remember. But she's told me obviously not like about the specifics, but she's told me about her journey and coming into it. And it's it's not an easy thing to undertake. But I'm so glad that you saw that Palm Coast needed something like that. I think it's easy for someone to look at, oh, well, no one in Palm Coast is doing it, so I don't really want to have to put in all the hard work to even
Mhm,
spread what the message is, because I feel like some people can also have a lot of misconceptions when it comes to something like this. And
mhm.
sometimes it's just hard for people, for us to kind of ask for help. And sometimes what that help looks like as well can also scare us. So I'm so happy to hear that you saw like, no, I love this community. I want to be part of it. I want to serve it. And I love that mindset. That's amazing.
Yes, thank you.
Of
And
course.
I always want to clarify too, because a lot of my patients that I get, they're often confused about the different roles
Sure.
in mental health. Some people, I have to always kind of educate some people that they're a therapist,
Mhm.
and therapists are very much needed. They are the ones that give you the coping skills. They are the ones that unpack the root cause of your symptoms and your condition, to give you coping skills to look at life in a more positive way. And then there are psychiatric nurse practitioners, which I am. So I assess, evaluate, and diagnose and treat with medications, everything that a psychiatrist will do. So I'm a board certified psychiatric nurse practitioner. So I always got to clarify that with people that, although I'm able to treat you in the same realm as a psychiatrist, my official title is not a psychiatrist, but I'm
Gotcha.
able to
Yeah.
do everything that a psychiatrist does.
Right.
Mhm.
That's amazing. Well, thank you so much for sharing that because, especially when we get into the medical world, it's easy for us people who aren't in the medical world to mix up titles and mix up things. But thank you for telling me that's really, really important. So there's so much that people, have to learn. And what's the best way people can reach out if they want to learn a little bit more? Because I'm sure we can't cover everything that you do on here and every different way that you can help people on here.
Yes, there are various ways to reach out. I think the fastest and the easiest way will be through the email, the practice email, which is info@havennexuspsychiatry.com. The Haven Nexus is together, it's just one word. So everything is one word, info@havennexuspsychiatry.com. And they
Perfect.
can also call us on the business line at 386 247 0840.
Amazing. So I'll make
So
sure I have that information in the description so people can
yes, and
copy and paste. Yep.
exactly. And I want to add that we are planning to have a grand opening of our office, our
Oh,
clinic. It's going to be on 50 Leanne Way, Unit B1 in Belterra Professional Center, right here in Palm Coast.
amazing.
And
Do you guys have like an event link for Facebook or something that I can share as well?
I am going to work with the Chamber of Commerce. So
Okay.
I'm a member of there. So they're going to help with the grand opening. We haven't set a date yet, but it's
Okay.
definitely in the works. Definitely in the works.
Well, keep us updated. I'll for sure love to stop by if I can, share it around if I can, invite some people. think that'll be a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Well, I really appreciate you coming on and sharing a few minutes of your time. Before I wrap it up, I mean, you've been in Palm Coast for a while. I'm sure you know everything that's happened here. What would you recommend for us new people? Maybe places to go, events to go to, groups you can join, to kind of get active with the community, kind of put themselves out there.
There's so much in this community that's, sometimes I feel is underrated or secret gems.
Right,
There's so many groups, and it's all about finding where you really connect with people. Um, I've been checking out the Palm Coast Professional Women's Group. I've been,
right,
checking it out, and I do plan to join, be a member of them. They are doing wonderful things. So that's one group. There's another group called I Just Want to Say. It's a nonprofit organization for women in business in Palm Coast. That's another group that I do plan to continue to support. And I'm hearing about BNI. Everyone keeps talking about BNI. I've had several of my friends invite me to BNI. So it's definitely on my list to join that. There's so many groups, and of course the
right.
Chamber of Commerce. If you're going to be a business owner in Palm Coast, the Chamber of Commerce, I think they're out to really do great things and really support the success of small
Yeah,
businesses. Mhm.
definitely. Well, Tolu, thank you so much for coming on, sharing a few minutes of your time, educating my audience on something that's really, really important and something that not a lot of people have a lot of knowledge on. So I'm super, super glad that you took the time today. I appreciate it. This is a lot of fun.
Same here, and I enjoy getting to know you.
Of course. And to everyone listening, thank you so much. I really appreciate you as well. And I will see you next time. Bye.